Well, Dawn Joughin now joins us to talk about her candidature for being an MLC. And again, we've had Paul. The hustings now, so
okay.
How did you find that?
A completely new and different experience.
But you're a lawyer, surely you do a lot of public speaking, don't you?
Yeah, I do, but it's a completely different forum. Usually I'm standing up in front of people explaining something that I know inside out and providing advice. Here I'm being asked questions off the cuff, so to speak, and I've got to try and come up with answers and think quite, you know, sort of quickly, so it's completely new to me.
And you're selling yourself, it's a job interview, isn't it?
It is, it's quite a protracted job interview because obviously you're trying to meet all the individual MHKs, that takes quite a period of time. Then you've got hustings, radio interview with you, Paul. So it's a completely new process for me.
Do you like the idea, I mean, the way it's been done, it seems more transparent anyway, doesn't it?
Definitely transparent, and I think that's certainly encouraged a lot more candidates to come forward, which can only be a very positive thing.
So tell us about your journey to this position.
My journey to this position, Julie Edge suggested it to me. It would have been in December. She said, I think you have all the necessary skills and attributes. Would you be interested in standing? I said, let me look at it, let me see what I think. Looked at the job spec that was adopted by Tynwald, and I did go tick, 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 and thought, yes, I have all the necessary skills. I'm passionate about the island. Got 2 small grandchildren. I really want to ensure that we have a prosperous and successful future on the island for everybody. Very concerned about our environment, concerned about our people, and as I say, ensuring that we have the right legislation in place to move forward in the 21st century.
Okay, but you never felt like being a politician, and I've been an MHK?
Not to date, Paul, no, because I've always been politically aware and very interested in what's happening around me, but I've had no active participation in politics before, so I didn't necessarily feel that I would have the right experience. And this is just something that sort of has come up now, really, and I've become far more politicised as a result of this. And I do feel, whatever the outcome is, that I will now become actively involved in politics because it has sparked something within me.
What's your views on the MLCs themselves? I mean, the future direction, should it be more publicly elected or what?
I'm pretty open about that. I mean, I'm somebody who tends to work with the system as it is. I know there's concerns about MLCs sitting in departments, whether they should be publicly elected. Having looked at Liz Vane, I can see the problems with that, given that there's 8 MLCs are going to be elected and there's 24 members of Keys as it stands at the moment. And MLCs would have a larger share of the populace voting for them and almost more of a mandate on that basis than members of Keys.
Super MHKs.
Yeah, so I think there could be problems with that, particularly if you're trying to affect a role of governance and scrutiny.
Okay, but you see a position in the future for MLCs? You're not going to disband them if you got in? Or
no,
like that?
Definitely. I mean, I do think there's an analogy to the UK system with the Commons and the Lords. And it is a body to effect checks, a second pair of eyes, scrutinise, ensure good governance. So yeah, I think it's crucial, actually.
Well, a lawyer seems like the sort of fit because of that scrutiny sort of thing. Is that how you see it? Lots of paperwork?
I do. There's going to be a lot of reading. Yeah, my day job skills are perfect for the role, I believe. I'm working with legislation on a daily basis, the practical applications of it, advising on it. But also the other side of the coin is that I'm dealing with private individuals on a daily basis, and I'm hearing about what their concerns are for their future and helping to find practical solutions to those problems. So I'm very used to dealing with the public, and I think that's another very transferable skill.
But will this be a full-time job for you?
Completely. Yeah, I've got obviously a contractual period, 3 months, but I would resign. I'm a self-employed consultant. I obviously need a wind down. I can't just leave existing clients high and dry, so I've got to make sure that they're catered for. But at the end of that period, yes, it would be 100% commitment.
Do you think the pay scale is right for the position?
I think I mentioned at the hustings, given the salaries that a lot of civil servants are on, I don't think it's particularly high. It's a good salary, and I'm fully...
£1,000 a week if you go on a board?
Yeah, I'm fully aware that there's a lot of people on the island earning less than $20,000 a year that think it's a fantastic salary and would jump at it. And I've been in that situation myself in the past, Paul. I didn't go to uni from school. I studied in my 30s. I had 2 young children and I was working full time. I'm somebody who's walked around the supermarket mentally calculating the cost of my shop. Have I got enough money to pay for it when I get to the till? Or maybe not, maybe better put that back. Can I afford to go out this week? You know, can I get trainers for the kids this week? So I've certainly experienced all that. I wouldn't want anybody, I mean, 10 years ago I earned more than the salary for MLC. That was one of the other things I said, my 3 principles: integrity, honesty, commitment. So it's sort of in the cause of honesty, that's a fact. So I'm happy to, for the greater good, so to speak, to be involved in this.
What about the expenses? Do you think that the MLC should get expenses like they're getting?
Probably not, no. I think there needs to be a review of the pay scales, possibly fixing a slightly higher pay rate for MLCs, but removing the expenses, and obviously I think a review of MHK's salary.
Well, you can go to the department. Would you be there if you were offered that blitz, which gives you that uplift, of course, in the pay anyway?
It does, yeah. I know there's very mixed views about it. Myself personally, I think there's sufficient numbers of other MLCs available for scrutiny. So if you're one MLC in a department, there's still 7 other elected and the bishop to scrutinise whatever it is that you're undertaking in that department. Yeah, I'd be interested actually in Home Affairs because I'm very interested in prison reform. I think we've got far too many people ending up in prison who have mental health problems, social problems, and I don't think sort of putting them in prison for a period of time, I don't appreciate there's got to be a punishment aspect of it, but we need to rehabilitate them or stop the problems before they actually end up in prison.
So you'd have some legislation, would you propose legislation then?
No, I wouldn't. I see the way forward for MLCs is if you do have any particular causes that you are interested in or see any gaps in legislation, that you go through the appropriate department and the minister in that department would put the policy forward. But I'd be very happy to work with any ministers or members of departments undertaking a research role for them, which is obviously something that I've done a lot during my career, undertaking research. So I'd like to be as helpful as I possibly could be. And going back to the pay scale situation, I think if you are involved in a department, you're actually adding more value to the role.
Okay, well, if it doesn't happen this time, what would you do? Be up for it again? Or, you know, how do you feel now you've got a taste, you say, for politics?
Yes, I have, yeah. I don't know. It might be a case of watch this space.
Okay. Well, you saw those questions being fired, and some, like the abortion one particularly, that everyone seems to have an opinion about that. Do you think that's important that you do lay out your particular pros and cons and what you want to see done like this?
Yeah, definitely. I don't have a problem being quite open about what my views are on any policy that's put forward. But to a certain extent, I think you have to, obviously you've got certain passions and things you believe in, but you do have to remain open-minded and able to hear the other person's perspective. And there may be something in the course of research or information that's put before you that could sway your opinion, and you could actually have a change of view on it if you find out more. There could be things that you don't know. You might have formed an opinion without having all the facts, but that is something that I do try to avoid doing. And
the abortion thing, how you feel on that?
Yeah, definitely in favour of the reform. I feel that it's long overdue. I do understand the concerns that people do have. I think I mentioned at the hustings, I'm very interested to see how the guidelines will be drafted, because I think that's fairly crucial to see how they will work in conjunction with the bill. There's certain things sort of in the 15 to 23 week abortion on serious social grounds. Now, that's probably not capable of a strict definition, but I think I'd like to understand some of the situations that could encompass, and that's probably going to appear in the guidelines, I suspect.
Okay, well, it's on Monday, isn't it, next week?
It is, yeah, not long now.
And at least you'll know, I mean, 'cause obviously everyone says they're going to vote for you, but in the past it was all secretive. Now at least you'll know exactly how it's going to be.
That's it, yeah.
You feeling confident?
I've absolutely no idea what the outcome will be, Paul. All I can say is that I've done the best to put forward my beliefs, my abilities, and to say that I believe I can add value or I wouldn't be standing, and I give it 100% commitment, and the rest is in the lap of the MHKs.